All right, here we go. Day 21 of the World Cup in the books. England 2-1 comeback victory over DR Congo. Belgium 3-2 victory, a monumental comeback in that. And the USA gets a 2-0 victory to move on to the round of 16. A lot to get to here, so let's get after it. Welcome into World Cup tonight, World Cup review. Recapping all of today's games, we're starting off with the game that we just witnessed, the game that most recently finished, and that is the United States getting a 2-0 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina. A very interesting game throughout, I would say. Because the U.S. did struggle at points in this game, especially early on. And I really wasn't sure exactly what the kind of plan was. It didn't really seem like there was a plan. They were struggling with, the pressure of the back line of this Bosnian team, which I always thought was going to be a problem. Bosnia was going to try to park the bus as much as possible. They get a few opportunities here and there. I believe it was somewhere around the 24th, 25th minute, somewhere around there. Balogun goes down in the box. Potentially a penalty there. It's not called a penalty. We move on. 31st minute. Balogun finds the back of the net, 1-0 US, but the goal is offsides, so that comes back. It's still 0-0. He was almost a full body offsides, if we're honest, so it makes sense. But then it was right at the 45th minute, going into stoppage time of the first half. Flo Balogun finally finds the back of the net, a kind of just beautiful strike, finds the back of the net, gives the U.S. a 1-0 lead, gives them momentum going into the half, which is what they needed. They were starting to take control of the game. They needed that end of the half. And, the U.S. was carrying possession a lot throughout the half, so I do have to give them credit for that. They were chipping away at that back line for Bosnia. The question was, do you start to make some tactical changes to make sure the U.S. solidifies this lead? The answer was no for Mauricio Pochettino, which I kind of disagreed with it. I disagreed with it more as we continue on down the line here. We get to the 60th minute. Balogun and Muremovic go up for a ball, and as he's coming, both of them are coming down. Balogun clips the back of his heel, lands kind of on his ankle, and Muremovic is down in pain. Probably at least a yellow card, but both players are down on the field. So the ref didn't really get a good view of it. So we go to a VAR check. In real time, clearly accidental, but we don't deal with real time when we go to VAR. We go frame by frame, and no matter how fast or how slow you play it, that's all that's going to matter. It ends up being a red card. Flo Balogun sent off. U.S. down to 10 men for the last half hour of the game. And obviously, he will miss the round of 16 game, which we will get into later on down the line. But even at that point, it's like, okay, there's a red card now. We're down to 10 men. Let's make some subs, get some defensive substitutions on. That did not happen. We get to the 82nd minute, and by this point, the ref has kind of lost control of the match. He's just handing out cards right and left. Malik Tillman takes a free kick from, I would say, right about the top of the 18-yard box. So probably about 19 yards out, maybe 20. Just a absolutely beautiful strike. Just phenomenal. Back of the net, 2-0 U.S., and that's how this game would end. The U.S. does finally end up making substitutions in like the 88th minute, I think, which is way too late if you ask me. I think as soon as that goal happened, I mean, it should have happened before, but as soon as that goal happened, you got to switch some stuff up fast because you now play Belgium on Monday. And it is now late Wednesday, so not a lot of turnaround time here. Overall, though, the U.S. get their second ever World Cup knockout stage victory. I get it. It's the round of 32. But this is their second ever victory in a World Cup knockout stage game, and the first one in 24 years. Just absolutely phenomenal night for U.S. soccer. Simply. Can't put it any better. Can't put it any worse. So I mentioned they will be taking on Belgium in the round of 16. That game will be in Seattle. A absolutely wild game there. Senegal kind of controlled this game. It was Diarra scoring in the 24th minute that made it 1-0. Ismaïla Sarr scored in the 51st minute. So, midway between the first half and then right coming out of halftime. Senegal have a 2-0 lead, and it's like, okay, Senegal they seem to have turned it around. They look to be going through. And then we get to the 80th minute. Belgium are making subs. Romelu Lukaku is one of those. He scores in the 86th minute to make it 2-1. And then you're like, okay, there's going to be stoppage time here. Belgium are going to have their opportunities. It's not even 2 minutes later. Youri Tielemans finds the back of the net, levels this game on the edge of stoppage time. And we are 2-2. And we're headed to another 30 minutes of action. Now, that 30 minutes of action, not a lot happens, to be honest. The biggest thing that happens ends up happening right at the end of the 120 minutes, where there is a foul in the box. And I don't even know if it was... It's another one of those plays where you're playing it frame by frame and it gets all messy. Kamara was the one who fouled Tielemans in the build-up. I get it. I get why it's a penalty. VAR has kind of lost the plot at this point. That foul happened in the 118th minute. And I don't think the penalty wasn't taken until the 5th minute of stoppage time. But if we rewind it, they announced the penalty at the 1st minute of stoppage time. So, and then there was just a wild scene where Cease was basically laying on the penalty spot, acting like he got shot. And that lasted a good few minutes. And then Tielemans finally takes his penalty, puts it in the back of the net, and Belgium complete the comeback. They go on to play for another 20 minutes, it felt like, as this game finally ended in the 13th minute of second half stoppage time. In Belgium through to the round of 16, where we will see a rematch of the round of 16 game between the U.S. and Belgium. That's, of course, the game Tim Howard had 16 saves, World Cup record. Belgium still won that game 1-0. And in the early game of the day, it was England taking on the Democratic Republic of Congo from uh, Atlanta. Interesting game because England were, they looked awful. Um, they looked awful first 5 minutes. Seventh minute, it is Brian Sapanga, finds the back of the net just off a brilliant strike. It's 1-0 to DR Congo. 7 minutes into the game. I just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And England struggled from there. They needed that first half hydration break so bad. And they got it. They kind of started looking better after that, but they needed that desperately. Past that, England started to kind of control the game. They just couldn't find the back of the net. I will give a lot of credit to the goalkeeper Lionel Maspai Nazu. He had a phenomenal game today. Phenomenal. He made a ton of saves just in the first half alone that kept this game at 1-0. This game could have been 2-1, 3-1 going into the half with England in the lead. But they go into the half at 1-0. Coming out, it's a lot of the same. We get to the 75th minute. Cometh the hour. Cometh the man. Of course, it had to be one man and one man only. That is Harry Kane. Just a brilliant feed into the box by Anthony Gordon. Finds it to Kane. Puts it into the bottom left corner. And we are level at 1-1. It would then just be, I believe, 10-ish minutes later. Just a phenomenal shot from Harry Kane. Puts it in the back of the net. He's falling over. He kicked it on his weak leg, I believe. Oh my gosh, I've not seen a better goal from Harry Kane or any England player, honestly. Just a phenomenal shot. Gives England a 2-1 lead. That would be the one that seals it. For the first time since the 1966 World Cup final where England faced West Germany, England produced a comeback victory in a World Cup match. Now, of course, they were down at points in that game against Germany. They came back, won the World Cup because that was the final. This is the first time England have won a World Cup game after trailing at the half, which is also hard to believe. But overall, England are through to the round of 16, and it does not get easy from here. They're headed down to Mexico on Sunday, so they have 1 day less rest, and they will be playing at the Azteca against Mexico in what is just a phenomenal game. I know I saw some talk and I didn't really think about it until I truly thought about it, but this is obviously the Azteca's last game at this World Cup. The Azteca has hosted 3 World Cups, including this one. Given how things play out, World Cup bid-wise, there's a potential. This is the final ever World Cup game at the Azteca. And for it to be England against Mexico, phenomenal. Of course, England's the last time at the Azteca, 1986. Quarterfinals against Argentina. Just a little bit of the hand of God helping out in that one that saw England crash out of Mexico 86, and they're hoping to avoid the same fate this upcoming weekend. So that is going to wrap it up for World Cup review. There are 3 more round of 32 games tomorrow. Spain taking on Austria, Portugal taking on Croatia, and Switzerland taking on Algeria. Boy, that late game is not going to be a fun watch, just given the time it kicks off. For Spain, Austria, Spain should go through easily. Should is the key word there. Nothing is guaranteed at this World Cup. We have learned that so much. And then Portugal, Croatia should be a phenomenal game. I cannot wait to see how that plays out. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Make sure you turn on notifications so you know every time a video is posted on the Nick Burt Sports Network. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again very soon for another episode here on the Nick Burt Sports Network.